Today, we will give you the most valuable principles from how to win friends and influence people. These lessons will improve how much people like you, your coaching skills, and your overall social skills. If this sounds interesting, then keep watching till the end. Lesson 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. People normally don't criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong they may be. So you shouldn't criticize them either. Criticism is dangerous because it puts people on the defensive and makes them strive to justify themselves. It wounds a person's pride and sense of importance, arouses resentment, and only creates temporary change. So be aware of criticizing someone. Otherwise, instead of solving the problems, you'll only amplify them. People will get demoralized. They may feel compelled to justify themselves and condemn you in return. Anyone can complain and criticize, but it takes a strong character to be understanding and forgiving instead of accusing and criticizing. Instead of criticizing people, try to understand them. Ask yourself why they are doing the things they do, and try to see things from their perspective. This will breed sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. So try not to criticize, condemn, or complain. You will generally be in a much better position if you refrain from that. But sometimes you have no choice but to criticize in order to improve someone's work or correct their behavior. In such situations, remember that most people find it much easier to listen to negative feedback after they've received some praise and positive feedback. Always start with compliments and point out some good things about the person you're about to criticize, and then provide constructive criticism gently and tactfully. Finally, don't forget to end the criticism with another positive compliment. People are much more likely to respond positively to this approach. Lesson 2. Smile to smile. Carnegie says that happiness doesn't depend on outward conditions. It depends on inner conditions. It isn't what you have or who you are or where you are or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about it. He mentions telephone customer service training where members of staff are instructed to smile as they talk on the phone because your smile comes out through your voice when you talk. If you don't feel like smiling, fake it till you make it. You fake the cheerfulness and smile. Suddenly everyone is smiling back at you, and the pleasantness of the situation actually causes your smile to become real. Force yourself to smile and then think about how stupid it is to actually fake a smile, and then you'll find yourself smiling naturally. Remember to force this smile anytime you see your phone ring. If you force a smile and answer the phone, the other person will just think that you are very, very happy to speak to them. Your energy will become so much more pleasant, and then the other person will likely feel the same way. Implementing this principle and smiling more will undoubtedly make other people smile back at you. It will make you feel a lot more connected in your community, and in fact, I personally think this principle has changed my life the most. The third principle of making people like you is to remember a person's name. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so more people can learn the valuable lessons from how to win friends and influence people. Lesson 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Carnegie says that using a person's name is the sweetest sound in any language. The average person is more interested in their own name than in all the other names on earth put together. Remembering and easily calling someone's name is a subtle and very effective compliment. He mentions Andrew Carnegie, who learned the astounding importance people place on their own names at the age of 10. He had a whole nest of little rabbits and nothing to feed them, so he convinced his neighborhood friends to go out and pick some dandelions as food for the rabbits. In return, he would name the little rabbits after those kids. Using people's names in the middle of a conversation may feel a bit awkward at first, but you'll find that people seem more receptive to you when you do use their name. Anytime I get someone's phone number, I always start the first message or voice note with their name. Implementing this principle will make the people you speak to feel more connected and more important to you. Remembering their name creates a bond between two people. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, how do I actually begin to remember people's names effectively? And I don't think there's any secret tactic. It just takes a little more intention. Carnegie says that most people don't remember names because they don't take the time and energy necessary to concentrate, repeat, and fix names in their minds. So it's likely that you'll improve the ability to remember someone's name if you care about it more and put more intention into remembering their name. Remain mindful of the significance that we place on our names and carry this thought around with you. Lesson 4. The only way to get the most out of an argument is to avoid it. Carnegie says you can't win an argument because if you lose it, you lose it. If you win it, you also lose. Why? Well, suppose you triumph over the other person, shoot their argument full of holes, and prove that they are wrong. You may feel fine, but what about them? You have made them feel inferior and hurt their pride. They will resent your triumph, and a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. Carnegie mentions a member of his course who gave a great speech about his transformation in avoiding arguments. The more he argued against it, the more the prospect argued in favor of it. The more he argued, the more he sold himself on the competitor's product. Looking back, he wonders how he was ever able to sell anything. He lost years of his life in scrapping and arguing. Now, he keeps his mouth shut, and it pays off. Arguing is addictive. It makes us feel important when we fight for our beliefs and regurgitate the facts we've learned. But everyone feels this way, so you really have to think about the point of an argument. If the point is to win the person to your way of thinking, then arguing is not the right way. The course member in the example said it perfectly. When you argue with someone and they argue back, they are just further solidifying their current belief. Carnegie has observed the effects of thousands of arguments, and he says that 9 times out of 10, an argument ends with each contestant more firmly convinced than ever that they are absolutely right. So bear this in mind as you go about your day. There are certainly better ways to win people to your way of thinking. Lesson 5. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want to improve a person in a certain aspect, act as though that particular trait were already one of their outstanding characteristics. Carnegie mentions how a primary school teacher was able to change the behavior of one of the most mischievous students in the school. She complimented him on his traits as a natural leader and said that she was going to depend on him to make that class the best 4th grade class in the entire school. She gave the student a fine reputation to live up to, and he lived up to it. This principle is like highlighting the best version of somebody, making it clear of their potential and what they could do. There are 2 ways to use this principle to improve your leadership skills. One way is by making them aware of their potential reputation, describing it realistically as something they could strive for. The other way is by setting yourself as a fantastic example for them to live up to. For example, if you're teaching young men how to start exercising, you can increase your influence as a leader by getting yourself into the best shape of your life. It sets a fantastic reputation for others to strive for and gives you more credibility as a leader to influence change if it's a skill or practice you've already mastered. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.